Hey everybody, hope all is well. So as you can see here on the screen are a few images of the late Tyree Nichols, who was savagely attacked by some officers, um, five of them black, and they have been arrested and charged. Now, this video, sometimes you have to cut friendships off, and want to talk about something that happened. Um, this pretty much, I want to say, put the nail in the coffin, but yeah, there is no wonder about my feelings with regard to relationships, the dynamics of black women and black men relationships, interracial. I am an investor. There's nothing new about that, nothing surprising. Now, I have friends, trust me. I have a few friends that are married to black women. About three of them, hey, those guys are cool, but they are not the norm. So I'm not going to use three black men to say, oh, this is how they all act, because that's just not true. They are protectors, they are providers, they are respectful. Um, I know some women that have black men in their lives, and you basically have a 50-50 roommate with benefits with a cheap ring that you or helped purchase or that he bought. But since we know that marriage is pretty not on deck for the BC as a whole, we don't believe in that institution because we are concentrating on more baby mamas and baby daddies. The institution of marriage is not appreciated. Most of us really don't understand it, and the men have no desire for it. And the women have been groomed to think accordingly. So there's no surprise as to where I stand. Now, I will do stories on this here, being a content creator. So an issue came up. Tyree Nichols is not the first one. I mean, come on, there will be several. And if you want to do stories about black men killing black men, child, we don't have all day, okay? I know I don't. So an issue came up, and it was around lunchtime, and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get together and have lunch, maybe have some drinks, bada bing, bada bing. One woman in particular, and I can just, it's safe to say we are no longer friends. This issue here didn't do it, it just pretty much confirmed it, okay? So we hadn't talked in a while. Um, so she's one of those ride or die for her Dusty, and in my opinion, he is a Dusty. Anytime you have to keep on asking your man to give you pocket change because you are trying to find some validation, you want him to validate you. You've already picked him up from Dust Bucket Land. You took a little dust off of him, and you tried to do Bob the Builder or Big Shirley the Builder. You're going to build you a man. You're going to play Build Your Boo. And to be honest, it didn't work out for you. So what you call yourself doing, in my opinion, you're in a situationship. You're in a marriage, and you're trying to validate it. So what you do, you want to pressure him into doing things for you. Pressure him, pressure him. You're going to make him do it. Why? Because he doesn't willingly want to. If he wanted to, he would have. But guess what? I'm going to do me, and I will let you do you. And I wish you well, boo. So I'm like, okay, hey, it's time to go to lunch. A few other people around. It's all good. She and I haven't talked in a long time. And I'm thinking maybe it might be close to 8 months or so. And before that time, it was a good year. Okay. A good year of no communication. So she's one of those women. It's like, oh my goodness, this happened to the black man, Tyree Nichols. Yeah, I heard about that. We all have heard about that. Yeah. Okay. We've all heard about it. All of a sudden, you think I'm being insensitive because my day has not stopped. Because the black man got. What do you want me to do? You want me to pretend to say, oh my, I am not hungry. I just can't eat. That man was beaten down and snatched out of that vehicle for whatever reason. It could be personal. I just cannot eat. I'm just distraught. That's what you want from me? Darling, you're going to be one for a long time. I'm not going to pretend. And so my response is, I didn't know him. I saw him with the big version of Big Shirley, the white version of Big Shirley. That's his woman. Becky can cape for him. But let's talk about this right here. Black women are murdered every day in the BC. And I just don't see her sympathy. But time it happens to a black man, which is how I have already established that she's wearing mammy boots. But time it happens to a black man, so typical. We're supposed to all of a sudden just get upset. The world's gonna stop. My world is not. I didn't know him. My world does not stop. If it was me that was handled like that, a many black man would be rejoicing, and that's a fact. This collectively is a group of men. When bad things happen to black women, they celebrate and rejoice. But only the mammies, when it's a black man, we're supposed to get all upset. I'm not that girl. I'm not that chick. I didn't know him. In case you didn't know, most black men have a large hatred for black women. Now, the people that I know personally and in my family or a few friends, we don't have that. But guess what? This is a small group. We can't speak for the millions out there. But I can tell you, actions speak louder than words. I can tell you about what they do. So I'm like, you want me to get all upset because, oh no, this happened to a black man. We're supposed to cancel lunch and go on a hunger strike. No, sweetie, I'm going to eat. And I said, wow, why would you want to pull this in front of other people? And it could be trying to put me on display. Sometimes people do that. You know, people will try to get you into a public place or public setting and then try to push their agenda thinking that you're going to go ahead and acquiesce for the sake of argument or for the sake of appearances. I'm not that girl. Not going to happen. And in doing so, believe it or not, I personally, I see it as a power play. Oh, you think you're going to go ahead and try and change my view to say, see, you don't have that kind of, here's a problem. It's not going to happen because you don't have that kind of control over me. You want me to get all upset over what happened to Tyree Nichols. What if the shoe was on the other foot? You think the men in black men are going to go, oh no, black women are being killed every day. Are you kidding? Some of them rejoice. And you may say, oh, that's not every black man. A lot of them do. And let's try this then. Let's see a whole bunch of them speak out against that. How many are opposed to it? Then speak out on it. So it comes to a point you have to realize, I said, wow, we haven't communicated in quite some time, and there are reasons for that. But the fact that you want to try to put me on blast in the setting of other people to think I'm going to go, oh, yeah, let's not have lunch. Let's just change our plan because of what happened to a black man that I don't even know from a can of paint. And let's not pretend we have a community where when one hurts, we all hurt because that's a bunch of BS. So I thought about it. I said, wow, this right here to me, it was a defining moment. That's how I'm going to call it. A defining moment. Well, at this point in time, we've had our last lunch. And there's no need to communicate. This is pretty much, it's a wrap. It's totally a wrap for the two of us. And I thought about it. I said, wow, I really think I see her as a mammy. I do. I said, it's interesting how you can see how a person thinks their point of view, their thought process, but yet and still a mammy will go ahead and give it a go, get you around other people, think I'm going to go ahead and just flip the script. I'm not flipping any script. I'm not going to lose any sleep. I won't. What happened is not a good thing. It's unfortunate for him. What happened is just a self-hatred on display. Black man or another black man, they wouldn't have dared done that to a white man. I don't believe it. They'd be too scared. Why? Because they understand their role. Even though that they're black cops, trust and believe they understand their role. Trust and believe that. That's why sometimes they want to only flex on their own because they already know other people, they can stop a white person and that person can talk to them like chit on a stick, and they will do nothing because they understand their role. But I thought about it. I said, wow, this here was a defining moment. Sometimes you can pick up how people feel about you. You get a feeling. I've even felt that with a family member. And I said, wow, this right here, I can already tell. We know we've got the tension is thick. But the fact that you're going to go ahead and try and power check me to pull a little Tyree Nichols play, we're supposed to all of a sudden just the world has come to an end because this happened to a black man. Are you kidding me? We want to still pretend Black Lives Matter because they don't. It's like I went to one protest, and I do remember this is so very interesting. As I said before, we're a group of people, we can get along with everybody else, but not with each other. And this lady made a statement. She was like, okay, people march and all that. And she and I are like so on the same page. And she said, you're here marching today, and a W-2 mindset is sometimes very different than an entrepreneur. It just is. Why I know that because I've been both. So I will say that based on my experience. And she said, you say Black Lives Matter, you march today. She said, but also Black business matters, Black dollars matter. So aside from marching, if you really want to say Black Lives Matter, you would then patronize some Black businesses. Okay? We need that support. And I kid you not, at that march, you know what I saw? I then began to see, I saw some white people start walking away. Now, maybe they just had to go. Okay? Devil's advocate, maybe they just had to go. But in my opinion, I knew then, I said, see, they understand the real power. We think because we get into a whole bunch of group, we get into a group and we're all Black Lives Matter and we're yelling, we really are thinking that, oh my goodness, we're really doing something. You're doing something, but I hate to tell you, it's minimal compared to what real power is. Why do I mention that? This here. With Tyree, we do marching, okay, what? My so-called now ex-friend, this is the same woman, and she may get involved in a little something. I haven't known her to march, anything like that, because she gets very uncomfortable, thinking something may break out. And I get it. I totally get it. This is the same woman who, when she was single, she was paid. I watched people. We would all, in business as Black women in a little crew, we know how to patronize each other. We stick together. It's just like now. I said, hey, I'm getting rid of some inventory. Call a friend of mine. Hey, girl, are you still carrying Coach purses? I got a few Coach and Gucci. I have too much stuff. We're downsizing. We got 2 places here. I still got my little bachelorette place and, that kind of thing. Hey, I don't sell them to her. And of course she can buy her own. Hell, I just give them to her. I'll send a picture. Hey, you want these bags? I got a few, Gucci, Coach. You want to check them out? I just give them to her. So we kind of stick together. Her deal. Now, again, I said she's a mammy. Once she got with her man, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what happened. She stopped doing business with all of us. Oh yeah, I told I have a friend who sells insurance. Why you don't? Oh, you start doing business with her? Why would you? Why? Because her man, the one you got to beg gas money for because you're trying to find some validation, you want so desperately to say that he did something for you, but you got to always like pulling teeth. You asking for gas money? That's crazy. Oh, but her man, this is how mammies are. Since she got married to him, the Black women she does business with, she just stopped it. Nothing personal, y'all. So you don't do it? Oh, okay. So now why? Because he likes to patronize white businesses, and that. Hey, fine, do you? And I thought about it. I said, well, does he happens to know these people like personally? No, no, no. It's just called, and this is so typical in the BC, and that's why I'm not finna cape for these men, especially for a dust bucket. It's just called. Those are Black women businesses. She's got a Black man. Most Negroes are anti-Black business. They are. Again, look in the neighborhood. The hood is spoken. Whatever business you see thriving there, the hood is spoken. Because that's what they patronize. And I thought about it. So I kind of been on to it. I didn't say anything, make a big deal. Sometimes I like to just notice things and just kind of observe from afar. So I kind of noticed that I never really spoke about it to anyone. I just kind of listened. I just kind of said, oh, I see. So I knew then. And I said, so Her are black women business owners, but then when there's a problem, you want to go ahead and try to get some free information. That's why me personally, I don't do it. If it's me, if I'm an accountant, who's your accountant? Oh, you may want to go ahead and hire you one. Oh, you might want to call your accountant on that. I don't do all that. I'm not gonna do any free work. I don't get down. I've been black for too long. As a black business owner, I totally get it. So her man, I said, oh, so since you got married to him, you start doing business with this person and that person, and all of a sudden he's taking the reins. And then you just, I was like, well, who is this person? I'm just kind of curious. Oh, it's always a non-black person. And I said, see, that's the problem I have with these mammies. The problem I have with these mammies. There was even a guy in a group of black men that had a business. Like, oh yeah, he does consulting. So and so's pretty good. You can help him out. What did he do? In true Dusty fashion, start talking him down. He met the man one time and said, I just think he's fake, trying to be all professional. Well, the man is not a hood rat like you. He met the man one time. I think he's all fake. He's trying to be all professional. I doubt all that. I doubt he's saying what he's saying is, well, he has more education than you. Okay? He's never had a job like you being the custodian that mops, not knocking it, but that mops the floor, clean up on aisle 13, sweetie. So now don't do business or communicate with that man. And I thought about it. I said, wow, I've been kind of seeing this true mammy biscuits on display. And I thought about what that woman said at that Black Lives rally, at that march. If Black lives really do matter, and I thought about it. You wonder why black business owners are boycotted and the other black men dust buckets have no problems robbing and killing them, and then you have mammies that'll stand behind them? If black lives do matter, we would have more black businesses. We support each other. We wouldn't have so much poverty. We wouldn't have so much killing and crime. So yet, you take your black woman dollars away from other black women. And trust me, the women will be fine. I mean, listen, the houses that they have, trust and believe. It's not about that. It's the principle. My one friend, her house was $700K. Beautiful home. Her car, 2 cars each, both over $100K. It's not about that. It's about the principle of the thing. It's not like, oh, she needs the money. No, it's not even about that. It's the principle and it's the respect. And it also goes to show you financially how financially dangerous that mammies are. But yet and still, after all this right here, again, the money is not in the marching and all this hollering. You're bringing awareness. Okay, but then what? In this country, the money is in the power. It's in the resources. And if you don't have it, you have nothing. And my point is, so you want to take the financial support away from black business owners. But now, in true mammy biscuits, you want to go ahead and try to put me on display because of what happened to Tyree Nichols. What the hell does it have to do with me or us having lunch? People meeting together, talking, having lunch. You want us to pretend. Oh, we just can't eat because of what happened to Tyree. Would he do the same thing for black women? Or could be another black man, especially if it's not a Dusty. I don't know the dude. And I thought about it. I said, wow, this is so typical of mammy biscuits. This is so typical, I have to say it, of a lot of people in the community. Fakeness. Oh, we so upset. We can't have lunch. The hell? I love to eat. I'm not obese, but I love to eat. But I said, this is so typical. And when you feel sometimes the shift is off in a friendship, sometimes it's a lot of things that the things that aren't said, but it's things, like I said, I've been observing. Like I said, that with the friends, you start to do business with them, then you stop doing that. Okay. All because of your man. Got it. Duly noted. Got it. You don't want to support black people in business. Got it. Duly noted. And everybody does well. Trust me. None of us are sitting up here hungry like, oh, what is I'm going to do? Oh my, I'm down to my last $10,000. I'm one step away from an EBT card. I'm down to my last $3. My account. What are you talking about? It's not that kind of party. But I thought about it. I said, wow, I've been detecting mammy biscuits in this chick, and this just it proves it. It does prove it. So you want to put me on display, like I'm gonna go ahead and get all upset because, oh, what happened to Tyree? And we just can't have lunch. We just all so upset. No, we're not. I'm upset that she has become a certified mammy. So the message in the video, sometimes you feel things toward people, always go with your gut. My dad taught me that, go with your first instinct. Whatever your inside is telling you, that women's intuition, that gut is telling you, guess what? Not it may be that, quite often it is that. Accept it for what it is. Me and this chick, we can both hit the bricks. We're done. I thought about it. I said, wow, there is absolutely, there is no doubt and no doubt anybody that knows me how I think about certain things. You've been around me, but yet you want to try to get me on Front Street and try to pretend as if, oh, this happened to a black man. Well, how you just gonna go ahead and just have lunch? Hell, I didn't know him. I'll have lunch the same way he would have lunch or brunch if it was me in that hospital bed. Knowing most, they'd probably be smiling and laughing. That's what you get. Oh, did that chick up and said, that's what you get. That's what I'm saying, dog. Yeah, run a mouth, run a mouth. That's what I'm saying. Let me see you do some videos on your hospital bed. So, darling, don't try and power check me. It's not going to work. I found it very interesting and I found it quite disturbing. I said, oh, this might be a little power play. You want to see if I'm going to go ahead and pipe down and pretend, girl, look here. I'm not trying to have it. Because, see, here's what I can tell you. The community is in the shape it's in mainly because of the men. Mm-hmm. I don't have to ask my husband for gas money. Girl, are you crazy? I don't. I don't have to do that. I have access to the funds. And trust me, I don't need his money. I'm just saying. When Valentine's Day come, I already know some jewelry's already popped up. Every chick like a Tiffany box. Hey, the more the merrier. I already know. No offense intended. The gift won't come from Family Dollar. And I really don't, I don't need anything. It's not going to be a cup, some mugs, and some socks from Family Dollar put into a gift bag from the Dollar Tree. That sounds like a gift you give your coworker. No, mine will be jewelry. And I really don't need any jewelry. I'm jewelried out, to be honestly. I have no daughters. So I'm to the point I'm like, oh my gosh, tennis bracelets, this and that, some nice jewelry. My only option is my niece. But I thought about that. I said, wow. So sometimes when you feel that the energy is off, even in some of your friendships or people kinships, go with that feeling. I saw this as a power play. You want to try to put me on blast because this happened to, I don't even know the dude. Again, things like this happen to black women every day, all day. I've never heard her say, oh, that black woman was shot. That's so sad. I'm so upset. You may hear, did you hear what happened to her? Oh, yeah, that was bad. And that's it. But, oh, the mammy biscuits are thick. And I thought about it. I used to feel sorry for her. I said, she doesn't know what a quality husband look like. And I am not saying for the record that my husband is perfect. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. But what I am saying, you don't know what a provider look like because you still doing 50-50. It's not cute to be 44 years old and you're getting gifts, be it birthday, Christmas, and anniversary, that's coming up from Dollar Tree. I'm just saying, if it was me, man, I may have, that's not going to be me. I'm not that girl. From a man that you put in business. So I said, you know what? I've been kind of sensing maybe just a little haterade, just a little bit unhappiness. I've been kind of sensing that for quite some time. But this right here, I said, wow, I think she's trying to power check me, other folk around. So I'm supposed to go ahead and do a spin. No, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to. So I'll be so concerned and fall apart when these things happen. Guess what? When black women can get the same sympathy. I believe you get what you give. So again, the point of the video, when you see that sometimes with people, the energy is kind of off and you feel that, or you're feeling some kind of animosity, you feel a little tension, trust and believe people, it is what it is that. There's no guessing, well, maybe, no. It is what it is. But I can tell you, darling, the friendship from where it lasted, that's fine. It is what it is, and I'm going to keep it real. I'm concerned about Black women and children. Black men are going to shoot each other down every day of the week. It's not going to stop, and I'm not going to pretend. But I have noticed, this just verifies my point, how these mammies, it is so true. I've seen it on other videos, how these mammies are really anti-Black women. I hate to tell you, a lot of these Black men want to about high unemployment. Maybe that's what you get. Because other Black people, men and women, try to build, and a lot of these dust bucket, these Black men, they are anti-Black business. And especially women. Like I said, she was okay doing business together in the circle. That's how we do. All of a sudden, he's in the picture. Gotta stop. So, as for her, if you wanted somebody to get upset, why don't you go find Becky Boo, get with them and get upset? But what you're not gonna do is try to power check me in a group full of people for me to all of a sudden pull some kind of fake, oh, I'm so upset over Kyrie. I don't know the dude. And last time I checked, when it comes to Black women and children being murdered, it's the chocolate hands that's on deck. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rant. Let me know what you guys think. But I was like, wow, I said, you really trying to put me on blast. Knowing how I think, you want to put me on blast like I'm supposed to go ahead and just, maybe acquiesce and just break and go, oh yeah, I'm not going to pretend. When they start caring about Black women, that's when I'll start caring about the collective Black man. When they end up on the screen, when they stop killing the prosperous, the intelligent, respectful Black men and women, that's when I'll give a darn. But other than that, honey, I'm done. And yes, lunch did continue, and it was nice. But again, hashtag Mammy alert. These mammies are very, very dangerous. They're very disrespectful. They are very anti-Black woman. They're anti-Black business. They're they are anti-prosperity. So I'm to the point now, when you see women in these relationships and you know that they're getting a bum deal, I don't care, sister girl. You put yourself there. Anyway, gotta go. Thanks for listening. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Simply Said here on YouTube. I'm out. Love you guys.